hope you're doing very well. In today's video I'm going to talk about my newest hand tattoo. A lot of you guys have been like itching and dying to know about the whole story of my new hand tattoo, how it happened, why I've all of a sudden decided to just do it. Like, oh, let's just delve into this. I'm going to talk about every single bit of detail I can possibly think of when it comes to this hand tattoo and why I've decided to do it, and the old tattoo that was here once upon a time that has gone. Rest in peace, squid. It's disappeared. I mean, it wasn't actually a squid, but it looked like a squid or an octopus, or what else did other people call it? Turnip. The turnip is gone. So I'm filming this on Friday the 8th of March. I got this on Sunday the 3rd of March, so I've had it for nearly a week, almost kind of sort of 6 days I think that is. Yeah, around about 6 days, 5 days, because I did get it quite late in the evening on a Sunday, so we can call it 5 days really, I guess. I don't know. It's unfortunately at the scabby stage. There was a part of me that kind of wanted to wait until it was healed to make this video, but then I thought, oh, it's going to be like a good 2-3 weeks before it's like fully settled down. And I'm impatient and I really want to talk about it and explain to you guys like the whole situation, and I'm sure you can excuse some scabs on a tattoo. I don't know if you can see them from far away, but I'll definitely do a close-up for you guys in a bit. But yeah, I'm sure most of you guys have seen a healing tattoo, and if not, you're about to see one. What my hand looks like is very normal. So if you haven't had a tattoo but you're thinking about getting a tattoo, I'll show you what to expect, to be honest with you, when it comes to scabbiness. I don't know if I've ever actually done an up-close shot of a scabby tattoo on my channel. I probably have, to be honest with you, but today's the day I'm going to do it again. So if you have been watching my videos for a while, you'll know that I have wanted my hands tattooed for quite a bit, and I have been sitting on it for a very long time. It's been one of those tattoo placements that I've actually thought about for once in my life. Normally I'm just like, oh, that's a nice bit of flash, I'll put that on my body, somewhere on my arm and leg, and it doesn't faze me at all, because to me arm and leg tattoos are not that serious, you know, like you can hide them very, very easily, and I don't have to think about it that much because I've already got tattoos on my arms and legs now. It's kind of like, oh, let's add another one and another one and another one. Like, it's not that deep to me at all. I'm sure some of you guys can relate to that. Like, once you start on your arm and legs, it's like, oh, there's one more, you know, why not? It's not gonna hurt. Like, it's like when you eat 3 slices of cake or whatever, you know, you're just like, oh, one more slice ain't gonna hurt, you know. But yeah, I have been going backwards and forwards in my brain of whether I want a hand tattoo or not. Well, I knew I wanted one, but it was other things that were stopping me from getting the hand tattoo. One was job, because, you know, when I started to want a hand tattoo, I was in retail, and like, my manager didn't mind me having visible tattoos at all, but it was like the higher ups that didn't want visible tattoos. So it was kind of like, well, I couldn't really do it while I was there, just in case one of her managers come in and then I had a hand tattoo and they're like, excuse me, why is that on show? Type thing. So I didn't want to get her in trouble because she was like the nicest manager of all time. So that's why I didn't do it while I was in retail. I mean, I already had that little turnip squiggly thing going on my hand, but it was such a small one, like it wasn't really that noticeable. It wasn't that extreme, you know. Small little hand tattoos like that kind of get brushed under the carpet, if that makes any sense. Like, nobody really makes a fuss about them. And I had finger tattoos as well, obviously, and again, they're small, and if I ever did need to cover them up, which I never had to, but if I did ever need to, I could have worn a ring or plasters, whatever, you know. They're very easily hidden, in my opinion. But yeah, having major coverage on a hand was like a big deal to me. I don't know why, but it was such a big deal to me, and I definitely had to sit on it for quite a while. But yeah, when I quit my job and started doing YouTube full time, I was kind of like, okay, well, I'm, you know, my own boss now. I've got no one to answer to. But then again, I had this feeling in my head that, oh, you know, at any time I could lose this YouTube gig situation. You know, YouTube could just crash and die tomorrow, or, you know, people might get bored of me and not watch my videos anymore, which means no ad revenue, which means can't, you know, sustain myself, can't pay for my food and what have you. So again, I was sitting on that. I was just like, well, I might have to go back into a proper job. I've had a couple of conversations with you guys, like on Instagram, what have you, and through the comments on my YouTube videos. And anytime I had mentioned wanting a hand tattoo and not knowing, you know, what the future holds, and maybe possibly having to go back into a normal job, which I definitely will have to eventually sometime in my life. Like, well, I mean, I would love to do YouTube until I die. Like, I want to be a grandma sitting here talking about tattoos, you know, when I'm like 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, you know. But who knows what the future holds, you know, things change. You know, years and years ago, magazines and newspapers were like the in thing, and everyone was buying magazines and newspapers, but that's kind of died out now, and social media is the thing. But, you know, social media, YouTube may die like that, and there'll be something else that's, you know, way more extreme. I don't know. I don't know. You don't know what the future holds. So that was kind of holding me back also. And because I left my job when I didn't have that many subscribers, like I was making enough money to live, you know, I was making more than I was in retail when I quit my job to do YouTube. So I gave myself until like November time. So I quit in June, July time, and I gave myself until November to you know, see how it goes. And if it wasn't doing that well, if I had a set amount of money, like if I made less than £800 in a month for 2 consecutive months, I would find another job. It was as simple as that. I was very, very realistic with this thing. Like, I was very adult-ish about it. Like, I took the chance because you miss, what's the saying? You miss every opportunity you don't take, or you miss every, something to do with basketball, you miss every shot you don't take, that's it. So yeah, I hated working in retail, so I just took the opportunity. And so far, it's still going very well. But that being said, I still had this feeling of doubt in my mind that, you know, at any point YouTube can disappear and I can't do it for a job anymore, blah, blah, blah. So that's the reason why I haven't done it up until this point also. But yeah, like I was saying, I'd been talking to you guys every time I mentioned, you know, hand tattoo, people would message me and say, oh, I've had my hand tattooed, I've never had any problems. You know, nowadays people really don't care about it so much. But yeah, I had this one conversation, I don't remember who it was with. Well, actually I've had the same kind of conversation with a couple of people, but the consensus is like, okay, so you're not getting your hand tattooed because you're worried about your future and, you know, who's going to employ you, etc. And I'm like, yes. And they're like, but would you want to work for someone that is judgmental like that and can't see partial tattoos? And I was like, well, actually, you're right there. No, I fucking wouldn't. Like, why would I want to support either a brand like that or a person like that? Like, why would I want to work for something that is against tattoos? Because that isn't what I stand for. You know, I've made so many videos about tattoo discrimination and people not being able to see past people's tattoos for whatever reason. And that made so much sense to me. I was just like, you know what, you're so right. I would not want to work for someone that doesn't like tattoos or thinks I would be bad at my job because of my tattoos, if you know what I'm saying. So I was like, oh yeah. So ever since that kind of conversation, which was a couple of months ago, I've been like, right, I'm gonna do it. 2019, I'm gonna get my hand tattooed, I'm gonna do it. And most of you may remember me saying that the first hand tattoo that I would get would be on this hand, my traditional hand, because I knew I wanted a coloured rose. Roses are my favourite, don't know if you can tell. But yeah, I wanted a coloured rose on here. I had a few eyes in mind, but again, I was kind of like, oh, let me just put it off for a little bit longer. Let me just, you know, wait a bit. Let me really look into these artists and see if they've actually done other hand tattoos and how they've healed and stuff like that. Anywho, long story short, let's, you know, fast forward into the weekend that's just gone. So I had been following this artist on Instagram for quite a while. Her name's Sophie Brown, and she does the most amazing black work tattoos. Like, they're so pretty and feminine and elegant and just classy. You know, they're quite dark. Ooh. Sorry about that. I'm out of breath, oh my god. Actually, I had to answer the door because I've just had a table delivered. Well, not really a table, it's gonna just go here for this plant that's just sitting down here. I don't know if you can see this plant down here, but it's been sitting on the floor for the past couple of weeks. I'm out of breath, I'm so unfit. What was I even saying? So yeah, I've been following Sophie a while on Instagram, loved her work. And because I followed her on Instagram, I saw that she posted about going to Tattoo Tea Party, which is the Manchester Tattoo Convention. Which, by the way, I just want to mention that I think that's so cool that they have an actual name for it, because with, well, most conventions, they don't actually have a name for it. It's kind of like Brussels Tattoo Convention, Brighton Tattoo Convention, London Tattoo Convention. Like, they don't have like a nickname or a name for it. And Manchester Tattoo Convention has a name, which is Tattoo Tea Party, which is such a cute name. Anyway, but yeah, she posted on Instagram saying she had space for walk-ups, so she wasn't like taking appointments or anything, she was doing walk-ups, so you couldn't like pre-book or anything like that. So when I noticed that and knew that she did really, really nice hand tattoos, like stunning hand tattoos, I was just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So I didn't say anything to anyone, didn't mention it, because I have this thing where I'm like, hang on, I have this thing where I'm just like, I didn't want to jinx it, you know. I'm very like, I'm kind of superstitious with stuff like that. Like, anytime I mention something, normally, before it's happened or before I know it's gonna happen or before it's confirmed, it never happens. Like, throughout my whole life, it's been like that. So I don't mention anything to anyone normally, because I'm just like, it's not gonna happen, right? I jinx it, I pre-announce to the world that something's gonna happen, and then it doesn't happen. So I don't announce things anymore, you know, just in case. But I did tell Yasmin when we were, I think we were on the way to Manchester, or we were in the hotel, I don't remember, but I told Yasmin that there's an artist that I really like, and, you know, if I could get an appointment with her, if that's okay, you know, I'm gonna do that. And she was like, oh, and I said it was on my hand, and she was like, oh, like, she's such a supportive best friend. Like, you know, I could tell her that, you know, I had a really good poo, and she would be like, oh, that's lovely, I'm well excited for you. No, you know, like, she's just lovely and sweet, and you all know my best friend, she's amazing. But I didn't really tell her how, like, how much I wanted this. Like, I was just like, oh my god, like this has to happen for me, because Sophie Brown works up north near Manchester, and it's not like hard for me to get to Manchester, you know, it's a couple of trains or whatever. It's just a long journey, and it would end up racking up and being expensive because of like hotels and stuff. So it was kind of like, oh, if it don't happen now, then I probably would book an appointment with her, you know, and travel up there to be tattooed by her. But I was just like, because I'm already there, it was just like the most perfect opportunity ever. Anyway, so the day rolls around for the tattoo convention, and I said to Yasmin, as soon as we get there, is there any way we can kind of just find this artist straight away and see if I can, you know, get in there, ask if she has any space and if she's willing to do a hand tattoo on me, because again, this is a convention. You definitely do get people getting hand tattoos in conventions. I've definitely seen that before. That wasn't the thing that was making me doubt the fact that she would do it for me on that day. It was the fact that I already had a tattoo on my hand, and I didn't know whether she would want to cover it up, or maybe she wanted to like avoid it, if that makes any sense. So try and do a tattoo around the original tattoo. So I thought I'd have the rose and then that squid on my hand, and then I'd just get it blacked out, you know, further down the line by another artist or whatever. So yeah, I thought even if she did have space, there was a chance that she wouldn't do it anyway because of the existing tattoo. And I've never seen a cover-up done at a tattoo convention. Let me know if you've had a cover-up done at a tattoo convention. I've just personally never seen it before. You know, walking around conventions and then looking at what tattoo artists post on their Instagram of what they've done at tattoo conventions. I've just never seen a cover-up done before. So I was like, oh, I don't know, she would do this here, you know. When we walked into the tattoo convention, we were obviously given a map, and then we had to try and find out, you know, where she was. And the map wasn't done by tattoo artists, it was done by studios. So I was expecting just to find her by her name, which is Sophie Brown. I thought it'd be alphabetical and it'd be really easy to find her booth on the map. I think I have the map somewhere. I do, hang on 2 secs. But yeah, this is the map here. So this is the way everything was kind of laid out and stuff like that. And then yeah, it has all of the studio names written down here, so that I didn't have the artist names. So I had to go onto her Instagram profile to see what the studio name was, because I didn't know that. I just knew her name and her Instagram handle. And then I found that, and then we found that she was at booth 11, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was booth 11. She was in booth 11 and she was in station 9 or 10. Well, there was she works at Helter Skelter, and they had number 10 and 9. But oh my god, we were walking around for what felt like a lifetime, and we couldn't find it anywhere. That is one thing I would say about Manchester Tattoo Convention. It was very nicely spread out, but it was a bloody maze. Like, it wasn't all like rows like this, or it wasn't like an easy stake around situation like Russell's Tattoo Convention. It was kind of just like I don't know how it was laid out, but it was hard to find her, and we eventually found her. Yasmin found her, because at first I wasn't wearing my glasses, because I hate wearing glasses so much, you guys. I don't like wearing glasses. It doesn't suit my face at all. I really need to either do laser eye surgery or bite the bullet and get contacts, but I don't like putting stuff in my eye, it freaks me out. But yeah, Yasmin was like, oh, there she is. But yeah, I went up to her and I asked if she had any space, and she said, oh, it won't be until later, around about 5 o'clock, because I've got a couple more people. And I said, that's fine, we've only just got there. I think we got there around about 12:30ish, 1ish, yeah, about 12:30, 1. And I was like, well, that's okay, we've only just got here, like we hadn't even really looked around, like we were just looking for her. So we had walked around a bit of the convention, but we weren't looking at the artists and the booths and the merch and all that jazz. So I said, that's fine, we've just got here. I told her that I really liked her hand tattoos and her rose hand tattoos specifically. And then I told her about the one that I had on my hand, and she looked at it and she was like, okay, well, we can freehand over it, and I could just put a couple of leaves over it. It's going to be kind of dark, but you know, that's a cover up that they're going to be dark unless you get laser, but obviously can't get laser right there and then. And it takes a few sessions and it just wasn't going to happen, obviously. But yeah, she said she would freehand and we'd, you know, work around it like that when it comes to the point of me getting tattooed. And then she took down my details, well, my name and my phone number, and then she asked for a £50 deposit, which has never happened to me ever on a tattoo convention. Normally when you ask for a walk up and you kind of just have to like not haggle, but you have to kind of hover around the tattoo booth and, you know, wait for that person that's before you to finish and then jump in before someone else jumps in. But with this, it was like a secure thing, and I knew that I had that appointment. I didn't have to like panic or hover around like the area just in case someone jumps in before me. It just took so much off my mind, and I knew I could enjoy the rest of the day without worrying that someone else was going to take my spot. So that was amazing. I love her for that. I could full on enjoy the day. Like we went out for lunch and, you know, we come back. It was just so stress-free, you know? I know I shouldn't really call getting a tattoo stressful, but I'm sure if you've had a walk-up situation at a tattoo convention where you're not sure if you're going to get that space that the artist has given you or said that they're going to give you. Yeah, anyway. But yeah, so she said, yeah, your appointment's at 5, blah, 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 and we left, and then we walked around the tattoo convention for a little while, and then we bumped into someone that watches my videos, Lydia, and we kind of talked with her for a little bit, and then we got some lunch at the Trafford Centre, or the Into Trafford Centre, I don't know. But this place is bloody crazy. Let me just talk about that. Like, fuck me, Manchester. It was literally like walking into Vegas. That's the only way I can explain it. It was literally Vegas in Manchester. Like, I'd never seen anything like this before, ever. And so that was cool. I'm glad we actually went to see that, because I didn't even know that existed in Manchester. So I'm glad we went there for lunch and we got to see that, because I would have missed it otherwise. Because normally we have lunch within the tattoo conventions. When me and Yasmin go, we'll just find some kind of stall thing that sells, I don't know, chips, pizza, whatever. So I'm glad we went and saw that, to be honest with you, because that was out of this world. And yeah, Manchester Tattoo Convention is cool. It's really, really cool. Like, I'm noticing with every different tattoo convention I go to, they're all so different. Like, at the end of the day, it's just a tattoo convention and there is only, you know, people tattooing and stuff. But with Manchester, there was like a full-on Dodgem car situation, like a fun fair ride in there, and we did that. That was so much fun. I hadn't done that in so many years. And there was like a flea circus thing, and there was a magician, and then there was like, what do you call that thing? Like when people do like weightlifting competitions and stuff like that, like strongest man or whatever. There was that. There was wrestling, which we didn't get to see, and there was like the, and then there was Pyro Hex, which is a group of people that fuck about with fire, basically, long story short. And there was like, performers and stuff like that. But yeah, so after walking around the tattoo convention for a little while, and I met a few of you guys as well that watched my videos, which was awesome. Thank you so much for saying hi to me and Yasmin and talking with us and stuff. I'm such an awkward person, so if I come across awkward, I'm so sorry. And yeah, we kind of just sat down for a while and just like, yeah, just enjoyed the convention kind of thing, and got a drink and stuff like that. And then it was kind of my time to get tattooed, and I was kind of nervous. Not like really nervous, like I kind of stopped getting nervous while getting tattooed a few years ago. A very long time ago, to be honest with you. I think after like the 10th tattoo you kind of calm down a bit because you know what to expect, and yeah, so I don't normally get nervous. I get excited but I don't get nervous, but I was kind of nervous for this because I knew it was going to be big and I knew it was going to be painful, but it's one of those things you just have to do it or it don't happen. I don't think that's great English, but yeah, if you don't do it, it's not going to happen. So I went up to Sophie and she was still finishing up doing her tattoo, so I kind of sat down for a little bit, gave her some space so she could set up again and stuff like that, and so she could have a little bit of a break because she was tattooing non-stop apparently. Yeah, so once that was all done, I went back, and then Lydia and Yasmin kind of took a seat by her booth type thing. Like, they just grabbed a chair from any old place and just sat down. I was like, all right, cool, sit down then, help yourself. So yeah, when she was kind of ready to tattoo me, she free-handed this rose on me. I'll flag up a picture for you guys. I don't know what side it's going to be, but I'll flag up a picture somewhere. But she drew on me and free-handed this beautiful rose. Well, obviously this beautiful rose. And I was just like, even with the drawing, I was like, you know what, just leave that on, I'll go now. I'll just won't wash my hand for the rest of my life. Just leave it dirty. Yeah, so she free-handed on. It was just stunning, and the way she was just artistically just drawing it, and the way she was just placing everything, and the way everything just fitted, and the way she could cover up my old tattoo. And then I don't know, like the artistic brain just floors me. I wish I had that kind of creativity and talent and skill to do something like this, just freehand a rose on someone. Like, there was no stencil involved, nothing. I think she was working from like a reference photo. That's about it, you know, like that's literally it, you know. She freehanded this on me, you know, no stencil, nothing. It was just done there and then on that day. It just blows my mind. And then she started tattooing me. This was painful. This is definitely my most spiciest, most painfulest tattoo I have ever had in my whole entire life. And before this, I rated calf tattoos to be the most painful because, oh my god, they're no joke. This though, nah, mate, calf tattoo, it's like being licked by a dog. Not even painful compared to this. Like, oh my fucking god. She started around about this area here, and she said, I'm sorry, I'm gonna start in the most painful part. And then she started, and I was just like, oh god, I hope to god this is the most painful part. Like, in my brain I was like, oh my god, if this gets any worse, fuck it, I'm leaving. You know, and I just couldn't. I was just like, oh my god, this is so bad. So yeah, she started doing like the line work and, you know, the basics of the tattoo. And like in the middle bit here, so just like on the back of my hand, it was not bad at all. To be honest, it was like very easy to sit through. It was like a 5 out of 10. But anytime she went, oh my god, the fingers, you guys, I mean, I've said before in my videos, finger tattoos are so painful. But yeah, when she went on my, like this bit here on this finger, because this goes onto my fingers. Hang on, let me do a close up for you guys. So yeah, you can see the scabbiness, like look at that. Oh yeah, like we've got some 3D scabs over here. I don't know if you're gonna see them like being raised off my hand and stuff, but oh bitch, yes. But yeah, so this part here, oh my god, and she had me bend my finger like that to get into the creases. You know, your fingers have creases in them. So she had me like bend my finger like that, and she was going like inside my fingers here, like you can see that there. And she was going inside here, so if I close my thumb like that, it kind of disappears a bit, but it was like inside there. Fuck me. No thank you, not doing that again. And down here wasn't actually too bad either. A little bit spicy, but nothing, you know, crazy. On here, on my like wrist bone, like the bony bit here, whoo, that was grindy, so grindy. And then actually down here wasn't too bad. I would imagine this part of your hand being tattooed would be quite painful, but it wasn't that bad. But yeah, again, this bit here was completely fine. Well, I mean, it was still painful, but compared to like this bit up here and this over here, it wasn't that bad. At some point she had me like make a fist so she could get right up in my knuckle area. So I don't know if you can see my knuckle area, but like up in here. Oh my good god. I was ready for Satan to just take me. I was just like, you know what? If I die right now, that would be fine. I'd be quite happy about it. So yeah, she started tattooing me. I think it was around about 5:45 maybe. It could have even been about 6 o'clock. I don't know. I don't know, maybe a little bit before 6. But there was like a time limit type thing, like you had to stop tattooing before 8 o'clock because that's when the convention finished on Sunday. and she was like, I'm so sorry, but I'm gonna have to really go at this. And she's like, I'm normally quite gentle, but I've got to get this done. I can't send you home with a half-finished tattoo. And I was like, that's fine. So she was getting in there, you know, she was doing the bit. That's what she had to do. Like, she didn't rush it in a sense of like she skipped steps or it was done badly or anything. She was just, you know, with some tattoo artists, they will take their time just to please you, to make the experience a bit better for you, so they won't be as harsh about the whole thing. But she was like, I'm so sorry, I'm just gonna have to like drill into you type thing. She didn't say those words, but that's pretty much what she was saying. But yeah, it was done in just over 2 hours. She wrapped me up with cling film. There isn't much you can do with a hand tattoo. A few of you guys said get some gloves and you can wear some gloves or whatever. Which I did try when I come home, because I had some hair dyeing gloves, and not powdered, just, you know, your general latex glove that a tattoo artist would use or whatever. Like, there was no powder in them or anything like that, but it was uncomfortable. But yeah, she wrapped me up with cling film, and the total of the tattoo was 250. I had already paid £50 with the deposit, so I just had to pay 200, which in my opinion was a very, very fair price, especially for the quality of work and for a tattoo convention as well. I noticed actually with Manchester Tattoo Convention, the tattoo prices of the flash and stuff was so much cheaper than London, Brighton, Brussels. But yeah, the prices were so much more cheaper than any other convention I'd been to. Anytime I saw a bit of flash that I really liked, and I was like, well, I wonder how much that is, and then I looked at the price and it'd be like £100. I'm like, what the fuck? In London or Brussels or whatever, that piece would be like £300, £400, you know. So I don't know whether it's just like tattoo artists up north that are just generally a bit cheaper, because there's a lot of talented artists. Because I know sometimes when a tattoo artist is not as well known, they don't charge as much, but there's, you know, a good amount of people there that were quite well known, and the flash was still so cheap. And I was just like, wow, maybe up north is a bit cheaper. I don't know. Well, I mean, that's just generally the consensus, like south prices when it comes to like houses, eating out, going to pubs or whatever, it's more expensive, and up north it's a bit cheaper. But maybe that's how it works, I don't know. But yeah, I thought £250 for a decent quality tattoo on a visible placement as well that took a couple of hours, I thought that was a really good price. So I was like, okay, cool. And yeah, once I was done, I was a bit of a mess. Well, I wasn't a bit of a mess, but when she was taking the photos, I was shaking. Like, anytime I have a super painful tattoo, I start shaking if it's been going on for a while. So this was like an over 2 hour tattoo, and yeah, I was like shaking. She was taking the photo and my arm was just like this. I was just shaking, my whole body was shaking, and I think it was just like shock. And I had lunch, I had a KFC, but I only had like a snack box thing, which is like a load of fries and a bit of popcorn chicken and stuff. And I think that maybe like I was getting really, really hungry when she was tattooing me. So I think the fact that I was hungry as well didn't, you know, help matters, to be honest with you. I probably should have eaten more at lunchtime, but I wasn't really that hungry at that time. But yeah, I was like full on shaking when she was taking the photos. I was like, I'm so sorry. I can't stop shaking. But yeah, I paid her, and then me and Yasmin and Lydia was like, well, we better go. Everyone was closing up anyway, like all of the stations were being broken down and stuff. So I was like, okay, we need to go. And we called an Uber and stuff like that. Yasmin had to help me put my jacket on because my hand was just like, it was feeling some things. So I left the cling film wrapping on my hand overnight because I was at a hotel. There was white sheets, and you guys know when you get a new tattoo there is leakage that happens, and I didn't want to leak all over this bed sheet. I mean, the hotel we stayed in was super dodgy, wasn't fun. We barely slept the whole time we were there. But it's not like the maid's fault or anything. I just didn't want to make a mess on the bed sheets with all this black ink, so I left it wrapped up. Yeah, so when I woke up in the morning, I unwrapped it and I cleaned it and stuff like that. I've been using tattoo goo to heal my hand tattoo. It's kind of my preferred method that isn't Sanoderm. There is no way I could use Sanoderm on this because of how much it moves, and it goes up onto my fingers, and it's like in places here and there, and it goes into here. It would just be a peely mess. It would just be awkward and uncomfortable, so I haven't used Sanoderm. So yeah, I've been sort of just putting the tattoo goo salve stuff on it, like the stuff in the tin, up until yesterday. And then since yesterday I've been using, I have this actually on hand, it's right over here because I dumped it last night when I put it on, but I've been using this stuff on it now. as it is dry and crispy. I haven't put any on today actually because I wanted to show you guys the dry and crispiness, and this stuff can kind of help with the dry and crispiness. She told me to put cocoa butter on it, and I'm personally not a fan of putting heavy creams on new tattoos. I just don't like doing it personally. It doesn't sit right on my skin. I don't like putting heavy stuff on new tattoos, especially when they're like brand new and they're just like open wounds or whatever. It's not for me personally. But yeah, I used the tattoo goo salve stuff like 2 or 3 times a day. And oh my god, oh hang on, let me do the TMI bit first. So when me and Yasmin come back from the hotel on the day that I got the hand tattoos, on the Sunday, I had to poop. And I mentioned this in my vlog, so if you've seen the vlog then you'll know this. But I need to clarify, Yasmin did not wipe my ass. I told her she should try using the opposite hand. So when I go toilet, I am right-handed, obviously. And so I wipe with like my right hand, but I have a new tattoo, so I didn't want my new tattoo anywhere near my butt, right? And so I did poopy and I had to wipe, and obviously I didn't want to use this hand, so I had to use this hand, and I couldn't really contort myself like round to wipe myself, if that makes any sense. It was just so fucking difficult. And the kicker was I didn't have to poop once, I had to poop twice. Which barely ever happens. I was just like, oh, for fuck's sake. I think it may be just like nerves leaving my body or something. I don't know. But yeah, I had to poop twice and I had to use my left hand twice. And it was just such a fucking effort. So yeah, Yasmin didn't wipe my ass. I just told her that she should try wiping her butt with her left hand because she's right-handed as well. So I was like, next time you poop, try and wipe with your left hand. It's so difficult. Honestly, guys, try. And the next time you poop, try wiping with your non-dominant hand, unless you're ambidextrous, then you're lucky, but I'm not. Yeah, it was just a wild ride. But a few people thought Yasmin actually helped me and wiped my butt. Yasmin has not wiped my butt. Let me just clarify that. Fucking hell. I know we're close. We're really close friends, but we're not that close. Not yet. I'm sure if I ever actually needed proper assistance with wiping my butt, she probably would volunteer. But I managed in the end, obviously. But it was just such a weird feeling. Anyway, fast forwarding. So me and Yasmin come home on the Monday. And of course, my hand was so freaking swollen. It had ballooned up so much, especially in the knuckle area. It had ballooned so much. It was so swollen. I don't think I've ever had a tattoo swell up that much before. I mean, it's quite common for a bony part of your body to swell up like that, like your foot or your hand. It's quite common for them to swell up quite a bit because the skin is a bit thinner on your hands and a bit more delicate. And when I got home, well actually no, when I was in Manchester, I was feeling like really tired, really groggy, really achy. I just wanted to nap for a really, really long time. And when I come home, I did nap for a very long time, and I woke up and I just felt really like flu-y. I definitely had tattoo flu. I've made a video on tattoo flu before. I've had it once before this, I think. I might have had it a couple of times here and there, but nothing major. But when I got my back tattoo, the bigger back tattoo that took 7 hours to do, I felt like absolute shit for the couple of days after getting it. And the same happened for this. I think it's just due to the fact of how intense it is. So yeah, so Monday, Tuesday is when I normally film. I just couldn't do it. I felt so like low on energy. My hand was hurting so bad, and I just didn't want to film, you know. And yeah, I normally film like a week in advance, so I normally film on Tuesdays, and then the videos that I film on a Tuesday come out the week after. But yeah, I just felt awful, and I started to feel a bit better like Wednesday. Yeah, about Wednesday I started to feel a bit more like energetic and stuff like that. I just felt like run down. And okay, let's talk about the blood rush. So I'm sure you guys have heard me mention blood rush within tattoos or new tattoos before, but if you haven't, basically what it is when you get a new tattoo on a placement that, you know, moves quite a bit, so lower arm, lower leg, hand, whatever. But if you sort of sit down for a while, lay down for a while, keep that body placement in a position for a while, and then you sort of move it like up or then down, all the blood just rushes. And I still actually have that with this at the minute. So if I put my hand down, give it a minute. Actually no, I'm gonna have to do it like this. That's stupid. Hang on. there it is. I just felt it. It takes a while now, but oh my god, the first couple of days were excruciating. Like I was literally like ow, 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 like out loud. So I actually kept my hand like this for a long time. I think from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I had my hand like this. Like I barely put it down. There was no point in me putting it down. And the last time I had washed my hair was on a Saturday. And then I finally washed it on Wednesday because I just didn't want I didn't want the pain of washing my hair, like putting my hands up here and scrub. Well, I could have done it one-handed, but I like to do two hands. I like to really get in there. So I left washing my hair for as long as I possibly could, because on Thursday, which was yesterday for me, I had an event to go to, a International Women's Day event. So I was like, I need to wash my hair. I cannot go to this event with greasy hair. So I finally washed my hair. So as you guys have seen, it's now in that really scabby, dry phase, unfortunately. It's doing the most. I cannot wait for this to be healed. Normally with other tattoos that are like on my arm or on my leg, I'm like, oh, take as long as you want to heal, I don't care. But because this is quite visible, it's just so gross, you know, it just looks moldy. But obviously all these scabs will like disappear in the next 3-4 days, I would say. Maybe a bit longer than that, I don't know. It only started scabbing up yesterday, which is the Thursday. So I'm guessing by next Friday most of them should have gone by then, and then you go through this phase of the tattoo looking quite shiny and it looks kind of fake and stuff like that. So I kind of want that to just like hurry up and get past that, and I want it to be like settled into my skin. So that normally happens within like a month of having the tattoo, so I've got a little bit to go. So at the beginning of April it should start to look more and more like a settled in real tattoo, if that makes any sense. Let's quickly talk about the issue, the elephant in the room. So as you guys know, I have a black and grey sleeve, mainly grey to be honest with you. So as you can see, this is super fucking black. I mean, it will get lighter as it heals. Obviously this is very fresh. It's still got the black inky scabs on it, so it will get lighter. It'll probably end up looking like my finger tattoos, like a little bit more on the grey scale, like not pitch black but a bit more like charcoal-y. So that will happen eventually. Just look at how light this is. I have mentioned in a couple of videos now, I can't remember when I first mentioned it. I was still working in retail, so it was like last summer, maybe last spring, that I mentioned it in a video. But I had said that I want this either reworked or covered up or gone over, blast over, whatever. I don't mind the top bit so much because that is a bit darker, because the house is quite dark, as you can see. Like this bit is darker. It's just this lower half, as there is smoke in here, and obviously smoke isn't heavy black for the most part. It depends what kind of smoke it is, but normally within tattoos it's quite light. But yeah, I pretty much want the lower half of this sleeve. So I mean, I'm happy with the ring, she can stay. But so from like this point upwards, I think I'm just gonna get someone to not like completely black out, but I want like mostly black work on this arm and then like negative space, so like flowers or some kind of geometric design or pattern. And obviously I know that with that in the negative space you're still going to see my old tattoo, I'm very much aware, but I just want something darker on here, like from like this point onwards. And it may look a bit weird to have like half a sleeve, you know, black work, line work, flowers, negative space, and then the rest like realism, black and grey. I don't know, that might look a bit weird, and I'll obviously deal with that when that time comes. But at the minute I'm looking for an artist that would be willing to do that. So if any of you guys have suggestions for artists that do heavy black work tattoos, then you know, they black out some of the arm and then do negative space and do flowers and line work and what have you. Preferably in England, preferably in the London area, to be honest, just because it's easier for me to travel and stuff like that. But there is one artist that's in Scotland that I really like. His name's Jack, I can't say his last name, Peppiette. I'll flag up his work somewhere in this video. His work is stunning, but again, like, so expensive to go to Scotland. It's more cheaper for me to fly to Amsterdam or somewhere in Europe than it is to fly to Scotland or get a train to Scotland. Can you believe that? Like, what the fuck? It's more expensive. It is literally more expensive to stay in England than it is to go somewhere else in Europe. It's crazy. Like, mine and Yasmin's flight home from Amsterdam was £11. £11, you know. But for me to fly to Scotland, sometimes like I've looked at prices here and there, like because I want to go like Edinburgh and stuff, it's like £200 to fly to fucking Edinburgh. Like what the fuck, that's in like my like country, well it's in Great Britain, like what the fuck is that about? So yeah, I mean obviously I'm willing to pay good amount of money for good work, so he's very much an option, but I wanted to see if there's any other artists in this kind of area down south that does the same kind of work, like heavy black work, tattoos. So if you've got any suggestions, please put them down below. I will be very grateful for that. But yeah, I think I'm gonna sort this lower half of my arm out before I get anything else, even before I get this done. So this is my project for the rest of the year. Well, I want to get it done by summer, hopefully, so unless there's like a waiting list for the artist that I choose or whatever, which is understandable and I can wait. But that is gonna probably be the next thing that I do, just so, you know, this contrast fucks off. But yeah, I don't think I've got anything else to say. I think I covered all bases. I know for a fact this video is very long, so I do apologise. But I will definitely keep you guys updated with how this heals. And I'm definitely going to be doing a video very, very soon on how all my newer tattoos have healed. Like I'm going to full on deep dive. We're going to look at them very closely and, you know, compare them to what they look like now and to the photo that was taken when I got them, and maybe the footage that I took when I got the tattoos or whatever. So any sort of newer tattoos that I've had in the past like 2-3 years, we'll look at that, and I'll definitely involve this hand tattoo in that video. So obviously I'll probably have to wait a month or so to do that video, but that is a video that I want to do, you know, look at the tattoos and see how they've healed and stuff. And I think that's everything. If you've got any questions, just holler down below. I'd love to know if you guys have a hand tattoo, or if you're scared to do a hand tattoo, or your reasonings behind not getting a hand tattoo, or whatever. Just talk hand tattoos down below. I'll leave a link down below to Sophie's Instagram so you guys can like go check her out and stuff. I highly recommend her. She's so talented and yeah, she's awesome. And yeah, I hope you guys are all doing very, very well, and until my next video, bye.